Imagine a land where the golden sands of the Sahara meet the vibrant blue of the Mediterranean, where ancient medinas hum with life and spice-filled souks lure you around every corner. Welcome to Morocco, a country steeped in history, culture and adventure, just waiting to be discovered. From the breathtaking Atlas Mountains to the lively streets of Marrakech, here are fascinating facts about Morocco that will have you packing your bags and heading straight for this mesmerizing destination. The cobalt-washed alleyways of Chefchaouen create a dreamlike atmosphere unlike anywhere else in Morocco. This distinctive blue tradition traces back to 1930 Ses, Jewish refugees who painted their homes the color of the sky as a spiritual practice, a custom later adopted by the entire community. Beyond its symbolic meaning, the blue pigment naturally repels insects and keeps houses cooler in summer. Visitors wandering the Medina's steep staircases discover new shades around every corner, from pale powder blue walls to vibrant indigo doorways adorned with wrought iron lanterns and cascading bougainvillea. The chromatic harmony transforms ordinary streets into living art installations, particularly magical during golden hour, when fading sunlight makes the blue hues glow intensely against the Rif Mountain backdrop. Fatima al-Fihri's visionary foundation of the University of Al-Qura Uyin in 859 AD established what would become the world's oldest continuously operating degree-granting university. This remarkable institution began as a mosque school in Fez, before evolving into a major center of Islamic learning that attracted scholars from 3 continents. Its curriculum once included advanced studies in astronomy, mathematics and theology, with teaching methods that influenced European universities emerging centuries later. The university's architectural splendor remains intact, featuring a grand courtyard with intricate zele tilework, carved cedarwood arches, and one of the world's oldest libraries, housing priceless 9th-century manuscripts. UNESCO recognition highlights its enduring significance as both an educational institution and a monument to Morocco's golden age of scholarship. In Morocco's Souss Valley, an extraordinary ecological relationship plays out daily as agile goats scale the thorny branches of argan trees. These remarkably nimble animals climb up to 8 meters to feast on the bitter fruit, their digestive systems separating the fleshy exterior from the valuable nuts, excreted intact. Local Berber women collect these cleaned nuts to produce argan oil through a labor-intensive process of cracking, roasting, and pressing. The oil's global reputation for culinary and cosmetic uses has transformed this quirky natural phenomenon into an economic lifeline for rural cooperatives. Visitors can witness these tree-climbing goats along roadside orchards, where their acrobatic grazing has become both a scientific curiosity and iconic photo opportunity, representing Morocco's unique agricultural traditions. The Chouara Tannery in Fez offers an immersive sensory experience transporting visitors back to medieval craftsmanship. Workers stand knee-deep in circular stone vats, treating hides with natural substances like quicklime and pigeon droppings to soften the leather through methods unchanged since the 14th century. The vibrant dye pits create a surreal color palette: crimson from poppy flowers, deep blue from indigo and golden yellow from saffron, resembling a giant artist's palette when viewed from the surrounding rooftops. While the pungent ammonia smell initially overwhelms, the mint leaves offered to visitors help mask the odor as they observe this ancient industry in action. The tanneries continue supplying Fez's renowned leather artisans, who craft everything from babouches, slippers to ornate poufs, using techniques perfected over generations. Ouarzazate's surreal desert landscapes have earned it the nickname Ooliewood as North Africa's premier film production hub. The region's otherworldly scenery, from the crumbling Kasbahs of Aït Ben Haddou to the endless dunes of Erg Chabi, has doubled for ancient Egypt, biblical Palestine and fantasy worlds in over 200 major productions. Atlas Studios, the world's largest film studio complex, contains permanent sets, including Roman amphitheatres and medieval villages where blockbusters like Gladiator and Game of Thrones were filmed. Local crews provide specialized skills in everything from set construction to supplying authentic props, while many residents work as extras, their sun-weathered faces adding realism to historical epics. The Cinema Museum displays iconic costumes and props, celebrating how this remote desert town became an unlikely gateway to cinematic. Each May, the Valley of Roses transforms into a fragrant celebration during Kelat Maguna's famous Rose Festival. At dawn, Berber women in colourful traditional dress begin harvesting the delicate damask roses whose essential oils command premium prices in international perfume markets. The festival highlights include a grand parade of rose-adorned floats, folk dancing troupes, and the ceremonial crowning of the Rose Queen. Visitors can tour family-run distilleries to observe the ancient steam extraction methods that produce rosewater and oil, or browse market stalls offering everything from rose-infused honey to aromatic soaps. This floral celebration not only honours agricultural heritage, but also supports women's cooperatives that have transformed rose cultivation into an economic lifeline for this remote valley. The ancient salt caravans of Morocco's Sahara maintain a tradition dating back to Transurcan trade routes of the 9th century. Tuareg nomads guide camel trains carrying gleaming salt slabs mined from the desert's ancient lake beds near Tafilalt. These caravans follow ancestral paths across endless dunes, sometimes travelling weeks to reach markets where the white gold is traded for essential goods. The sight of robed traders leading dozens of camels single file at sunset creates a scene seemingly frozen in time. While trucks now transport most commercial salt, some nomadic families preserve this slower but more sustainable practice, keeping alive both cultural heritage and desert ecosystems. Visitors to Merzouga can join shortened caravan experiences, sleeping under the stars as generations of traders have done. Ofane National Park's cedar forests shelter the endangered Barbary macaque, North Africa's only native primate species. These social, intelligent monkeys with their expressive faces and complex hierarchies have adapted remarkably to Morocco's seasonal climate, even enduring snowy winters. Unlike most primates, they regularly descend from trees to forage on the ground, making them unusually accessible to observers. Conservation programs work to protect the estimated 5,000 remaining individuals from habitat loss and illegal pet trade. Visitors often encounter troops along hiking trails, where adults groom each other while playful juveniles perform acrobatics in the ancient cedar branches. These charismatic creatures provide a rare opportunity to observe wild primates outside sub-Saharan Africa, offering insights into primate behavior and evolution. Yenyewe celebrations on January 12 mark the Amazigh New Year, an agricultural festival dating back to pre-Islamic times. Berber communities across Morocco observe this holiday with special dishes like tagoula 7 vegetable couscous and orkimen hearty beans soup, symbolizing abundance for the coming year. Traditional rituals include sprinkling doorways with salt for protection and children receiving gifts of nuts and dried fruits. In recent years, Yenyewe has gained official recognition, with public concerts and cultural events showcasing Amazigh language and identity. The festival's blend of ancient agrarian traditions and modern cultural revival reflects how Morocco's indigenous heritage continues evolving while maintaining deep roots in the land's seasonal rhythms. The desert town of Erfaout sits atop a fossil hunter's paradise, where the surrounding limestone contains perfectly preserved Devonian-era marine creatures. Approximately 380 million years ago, this region formed part of a shallow tropical sea teeming with life, now fossilized in exquisite detail. Local workshops transform these natural treasures into stunning tabletops, bathroom sinks, and decorative items by carefully cutting and polishing the stone to reveal spiral-shelled ammonites, primitive squid-like orthoceras, and other prehistoric specimens. The annual Fossil Festival attracts geologists and collectors worldwide, while roadside stalls offer everything from raw fossil chunks to exquisite jewelry. These ancient relics provide tangible connections to Earth's distant past, making the Erfoud region a unique open-air museum of paleontological wonders. The Moroccan tea ceremony transforms simple mint tea into an art form of hospitality and symbolism. Skilled servers lift silver teapots nearly a metre above small glass cups, creating a frothy head while aerating the liquid to release its full aroma. This precise pouring technique, requiring years to master, serves practical and ceremonial purposes, cooling the scorching hot tea while creating an impressive spectacle. The ritual's 3 servings carry profound meaning. The first, bitter glass, represents life's struggles. The stronger second glass symbolizes love's passion, and the final sweet serving reflects death's peace. Families pass down special tea sets through generations, with the ritual punctuating everything from casual visits to formal negotiations, its rhythm of preparation and consumption creating natural spaces for conversation and connection. Sefrou's claim as Morocco's former cherry capital comes alive each June during its vibrant Cherry Festival. This week-long celebration honors the region's agricultural heritage with a parade of floats decorated entirely in cherries, where local women wear traditional costumes embroidered with fruit motifs. The festival highlights include cherry-picking competitions judged by speed and precision, cooking demonstrations of both sweet and savory cherry dishes, and the ceremonial crowning of the Cherry Queen. Orchards surrounding the town open for you-pick sessions, with some gnarled trees dating back to the 19th century when Sefrou supplied cherries across North Africa. Though climate changes have reduced production, the festival preserves this fruity legacy through folk songs, poetry competitions about cherries, and stalls selling everything from cherry jams to cherry-infused cosmetics. The Anti-Atlas Mountains near Tafraout conceal one of North Africa's most significant open-air art galleries. Thousands of prehistoric petroglyphs etched into sandstone cliffs. These ancient carvings depict a lost world of elephants, giraffes, and rhinoceroses that once roamed the Sahara when it was verdant grassland. Some panels show hunting scenes with detailed weaponry, while others feature mysterious geometric patterns, possibly representing early writing systems or astronomical calendars. The most accessible site at El Aleg contains over 300 figures spread across a dramatic rock face, where visitors can trace finger grooves made by artists using stone tools millennia ago. Archaeologists believe these carvings served multiple purposes, recording important events, marking territorial boundaries, and possibly functioning as spiritual sites for rain-making rituals during the region's gradual desertification. Zouaïa Ansal's annual pilgrimage draws thousands to one of Morocco's most remote spiritual centers, hidden deep in the high Atlas Mountains. Followers of the Ayansal Sufi order undertake days-long journeys through treacherous mountain passes to reach the 13th century shrine of Sidi Said Ayansal, believed to possess miraculous healing powers. The Mousmam religious festival features days of ecstatic chanting, communal meals for all attendees, and ritual sacrifices that distribute meat to the poor. Pilgrims bathe in the sacred springs whose waters are said to cure ailments, while women seeking fertility tie colourful cloth strips to nearby trees. The Zawiya's isolation has preserved medieval Islamic traditions unchanged, offering participants a rare glimpse into Morocco's living mystical heritage, where the rhythmic pounding of frame drums and scent of burning juniper berries create an atmosphere of transcendence. Morocco's Mellahs, historic Jewish quarters, preserve the memory of vibrant communities that once flourished in cities like Fes and Marrakech. The Fes Mellah, established in 1438, showcases distinctive architecture with wrought iron balconies overlooking narrow streets and homes built around central courtyards called Wustedar. Its 17th century Ibn Danan synagogue features a rare triple Torah arch and Hebrew inscriptions carved into plasterwork, while the nearby cemetery contains tombs of revered rabbis covered in whitewashed domes. Marrakech's Mellah retains its original grid layout planned by Sultan Abdallah al-Ghalib, with jewelers still working in tiny storefronts along Rue des Bijoutiers. These neighborhoods tell a complex story of coexistence where Jewish merchants and artisans played vital roles in Moroccan society for centuries before mass emigration in the 20th century. The Dades Valley's Monkey Fingers rock formations create one of Morocco's most surreal landscapes, where erosion has sculpted limestone cliffs into clusters of towering pinnacles. These geological wonders, some reaching 300 meters high, glow fiery red at sunrise before shifting through ochre and gold tones as the day progresses. The valley's winding road passes through a dramatic gorge where Berber villages cling to cliffs, their mud brick kasbahs blending seamlessly with the natural rock palette. Hikers can explore hidden canyons where rare Bonelli's eagles nest, Or visit traditional rosewater distilleries in spring when the valley floor blooms pink. The most photographed section near Tamnaut features particularly phallic formations that local lore attributes to ancient fertility spirits, making this bizarrely beautiful landscape a highlight of Morocco's Route of the Kasbahs. The Torbereda Fantasia performance embodies Morocco's equestrian heritage in a breathtaking display of synchronized horsemanship. Teams of up to 15 riders in traditional costumes charge across open fields at full gallop, their Arabian horses maintaining perfect alignment before firing antique muskets simultaneously in an explosive salute. This dangerous art form requires years of training to achieve the precise timing where all gunshots sound as one, with judges awarding points for synchronization, costume authenticity, and the height of the horse's rear during the sudden stop. Regional variations include acrobatic displays where riders stand upright on galloping horses, or perform daring mid-charge dismounts. Originally a cavalry training exercise, today's fantasias preserve ancestral skills while serving as living cultural spectacles at weddings, harvest festivals, and national celebrations across Morocco. Ben Haddou's towering car has served as the ultimate desert film set since appearing in Lawrence of Arabia in 1962. This UNESCO-listed clay fortress rises dramatically from the banks of the Unila River, its honey-coloured battlements and watchtowers forming a perfect medieval silhouette against the Atlas Mountains. Production designers prize its authentic Saharan architecture, the intricate mud brick latticework, hidden passageways and communal granaries that have doubled for locations from biblical Jerusalem to Westeros in Game of Thrones. Local residents serve as expert set builders and extras, their weathered faces and traditional dress adding realism to historical epics. At sunset, when the fading light sets the clay walls ablaze in crimson hues, visitors can easily imagine caravans of traders and warriors that have passed through this strategic stronghold for nearly 1,000 years. Volubilis stands as North Africa's best-preserved Roman ruins, where crumbling temples and villas sprawl across a fertile plain near Meknes. Once the capital of Mauritania Tingitana, this archaeological treasure features remarkably intact mosaics depicting Greek myths, a triumphal arch honouring Emperor Caracalla, and the remains of sophisticated olive oil presses that drove the local economy. Unlike many ancient sites, visitors can walk freely among the ruins, running hands over 2,000-year-old stonework where Latin inscriptions remain clearly visible. The site's most striking feature is its collection of floor mosaics, from the vivid labours of Hercules in the house of Orpheus to the marine creatures adorning the baths of Gallienus. Storks nesting atop Corinthian columns add life to the ruins, which glow golden at dusk when shadows accentuate the remaining architectural details. Sidi Ifni's surreal Art Deco architecture transports visitors to 1930s Spanish Morocco, where colonial administrators transformed this fishing port into a modernist fantasy. The town's pastel-coloured civic buildings feature nautical motifs, curved balconies, and geometric facades that seem plucked from Miami Beach, except for the Arabic inscriptions and occasional camel parked outside. The abandoned Spanish consulate's Ocean View Terrace still bears fascist-era insignia, while the lighthouse's zigzag ramp echoes expressionist cinema designs. Locals have repurposed these architectural relics in creative ways. The Deco Cinema now houses a women's weaving cooperative, and the derelict airport runway hosts weekly soccer matches. This quirky blend of Saharan culture and European modernism creates a uniquely melancholic atmosphere, enhanced by Atlantic mists that often shroud the town in dreamlike haze. The saffron fields of Talouine bloom purple each autumn when the delicate crocus sativus flowers open at dawn, revealing the precious red stigmas that become the world's most expensive spice. In this arid anti-Atlas valley, generations of Berber families have perfected the back-breaking harvest, carefully plucking each flower by hand before painstakingly extracting the 3 fragile threads that constitute a single saffron strand. It takes over 150,000 flowers to produce just 1 kilogram of saffron, explaining its nickname Red Gold. Local women's cooperatives oversee every step from organic cultivation to sun-drying the threads on silkscreens, ensuring the spice's legendary quality for gourmet kitchens worldwide. Visitors can tour the fragrant fields during October's harvest, learning how this luxurious ingredient flavors everything from tagines to tea, while supporting remote mountain communities. Ledzira Beach dramatic coastline once featured two colossal sea arches carved from red sandstone by Atlantic waves over millennia. The larger arch, spanning nearly 30 meters wide, collapsed in 2016, leaving its smaller companion standing as a solitary sentinel against the crashing surf. What remains is no less spectacular, towering rust-colored cliffs, pitted with sea caves that glow fiery orange at sunset, creating one of Morocco's most photogenic shorelines. The beach's distinctive red sand comes from eroded iron-rich rock formations that extend into the ocean like petrified giants. Adventurous travelers can still explore the area at low tide, discovering hidden coves where local fishermen dry their catches on wooden racks, while the constant roar of waves reminds visitors of nature's relentless power to reshape even its most monumental creations. The Imilchil Marriage Festival, rooted in ancient Amazigh traditions, transforms this high Atlas village into a celebration of love each September. Originally serving as a rare opportunity for isolated Berber clans to arrange unions between tribes, today's event blends ritual with modern romance. Brides wear elaborate silver crowns and multi-layered woolen cloaks called tahaikt, their faces painted with symbolic saffron designs, while grooms don white robes and crimson sashes. Though mass weddings still occur, contemporary couples now meet through social media before participating in the ceremonial aspects. The festival's highlight remains the collective procession to the sacred lakes of Isli and Tislit, named after legendary star-crossed lovers, where participants throw offerings into the water before nights of dancing to plaintive, hideous folk music under the mountain stars. Moulay Idris Zehoun's whitewashed houses cascade down two sacred hills like a wedding cake, sheltering the tomb of Morocco's most revered saint, Idris I, who introduced Islam in 789 AD. For centuries, this intensely spiritual town barred non-Moscows from entering its labyrinthine alleys, leading to the Zawiya, shrine, where pilgrims still come to seek blessings and tie prayer ribbons to the sanctuary's lattice screens. The annual Musmem draws thousands who participate in candlelit processions and all-night chanting sessions, while market stalls sell amulets and rosewater-scented candles. Though the prohibition on non-Muslim visitors was lifted in 2005, the town retains an aura of mystery, its circular streets designed to confuse invaders now leading pilgrims past Quranic schools and communal bakeries where the scent of baking khobz bread mingles with incense. Urd Shebi's singing dunes create one of the Sahara's most mesmerizing natural phenomena, a low-frequency hum resembling distant aircraft that occurs when sand avalanches down the 150-meter-high dunes. Scientists attribute this sonic marvel to synchronized vibrations of uniform sand grains cascading down the slopes, amplified by the dunes' bowl-like formation. Local nomads long believed the sounds were desert spirits whispering secrets, incorporating the phenomenon into storytelling traditions. Visitors can trigger the effect by sliding down the dune ridges at golden hour when the sand is perfectly dry, creating an otherworldly auditory experience as the setting sun transforms the sea of dunes into waves of molten copper. This natural concert, combined with the absolute silence between songs, makes for an unforgettable Saharan encounter. Taroudan's imposing ramparts encircle the old city like a time capsule of 16th century southern Morocco. Built by the Saadian dynasty from rammed earth mixed with lime and olive oil, these 7-meter-high walls stretch nearly 6 kilometers, punctuated by 130 towers and 9 monumental gates, designed to repel Portuguese invaders. Unlike Marrakech reconstructed walls, Taroudan's defences remain remarkably original, their ochre hues shifting from pink to gold as the day progresses. Farmers still cultivate olive groves in the wide no-man's land between the double walls, just as their ancestors did to slow-approaching armies. At sunset, locals gather on the broad walkways atop the walls to watch the high Atlas glow crimson while swallows dart through the crenellations, maintaining a tradition unchanged since the days of caravans carrying gold and slaves across the Sahara. Essaouira's Gnawa World Music Festival electrifies this coastal town each June, transforming its 18th-century Portuguese ramparts into stages for a unique cultural fusion. The event centers around the spiritual Gnawa brotherhoods, descendants of West African slaves who preserved their musical heritage through hypnotic rhythms played on Gwembri lutes and metal kwakab castanets. When jazz musicians from New Orleans or blues artists from Mali join these trance-inducing sessions, the result is a transcendent dialogue between continents. The Medina becomes one vast performance space, with impromptu concerts erupting in carpet shops and fish markets alike, while the night-long Lila healing ceremonies invite audience participation until dawn. This festival doesn't just showcase music, it demonstrates how Morocco has historically bridged African and European cultures, with the Atlantic winds carrying the melodies through the blue and white streets. Gemma El Fnaz storytellers, called Haikia, represent one of Morocco's most endangered cultural treasures, the ancient art of oral narrative. These master performers, clad in colourful gandoras and pointed slippers, captivate circles of listeners with epic tales of sultans and jinns, using dramatic gestures and audience participation to bring the stories to life. Each storyteller specialises in particular cycles, some recounting the adventures of Antara ibn Shaddad, others performing humorous trickster tales with uncanny animal impressions. Once numbering in the dozens, only a handful of these human libraries remain, their art threatened by smartphones and changing leisure habits. UNESCO's 2001 designation of the square as a masterpiece of oral heritage has helped preserve this tradition, with younger apprentices now learning the craft during the annual Storytelling Festival, ensuring that the magic of spoken word endures in Marrakech Living Theatre. Mazouga's desert mirages play tricks on the eyes, transforming the Saharan horizon into shimmering lakes that seem to beckon weary travellers. These optical illusions occur when light bends through layers of superheated air near the ground, creating mirror-like reflections of the sky that appear as bodies of water. Nomads develop sophisticated methods to distinguish these phantom oases from real ones, watching bird behaviour, or checking for telltale heat vibrations. Modern visitors can witness the phenomenon most dramatically at midday in summer, when temperatures exceed 50 DGC, 122 DGFF, and the illusions become so convincing that even cameras capture them. The mirages inspired countless desert legends about vanished cities and enchanted springs, adding to the mystique of Morocco's dune seas, where reality and imagination blur in the heat haze. The Rif Mountains surrounding Chefchaouen conceal Morocco's open secret, vast cannabis plantations that supply much of Europe's hashish despite official prohibition. Introduced by Arab traders in the 7th century, kif cultivation became deeply embedded in local culture, with farmers using traditional techniques passed down generations. In spring, entire valleys turn emerald with cannabis plants, which are harvested, dried, and hand-pressed into resin blocks using age-old methods. While authorities tolerate small-scale growing for personal use, the lucrative black market trade persists, with discreet hash cafes operating in Chefchaou's Medina. Recent years have seen debates about legalizing medical marijuana to regulate the industry, but for now, the Rif remains Morocco's conflicted green-gold region, where stunning mountain vistas coexist with illegal plantations visible from hiking trails. The 1960 Agadir earthquake remains one of Morocco's most devastating natural disasters, levelling 80% of the city in just 15 seconds and claiming over 15,000 lives. From this tragedy emerged a phoenix-like rebirth, a meticulously planned modern city built to strict seismic standards, with wide boulevards and earthquake-resistant concrete structures. The new Agadir adopted a distinctive mid-century modernist aesthetic, its whitewashed buildings and palm-lined avenues radiating from the rebuilt seafront promenade. Only a few remnants of old Agadir survived, including the Kasbah ruins overlooking the bay and the miraculously intact Void of Memory wall fragment preserved as a memorial. Today's city stands as a testament to resilience, its construction codes now serving as models for earthquake-prone regions worldwide. Hidden deep in the Rif Mountains near Chefchaouen, the Sidi Kasem waterfalls cascade down mossy cliffs into crystal-clear pools surrounded by ancient olive groves. Reaching these secluded falls requires a scenic hike through Berber villages, where farmers still use donkey-drawn ploughs, the trail winding past wild lavender and fig trees before descending into a cool canyon. The main waterfall plunges 25 meters into a natural swimming hole where locals picnic on summer weekends, their laughter echoing off the stone walls. Upstream, smaller cascades form tiered baths perfect for soaking tired feet, while the bravest visitors swing from rope swings into the deepest pools. This hidden oasis remains refreshingly undeveloped, with only a few handwritten signs pointing the way to what many consider Morocco's most beautiful secret waterfall. Moroccan hammams represent far more than bathing. They're social institutions where communities gather for purification rituals dating back to Roman times. In these steamy marble chambers, the weekly cleansing routine follows a precise sequence. First relaxing in the warm room to open pores, then vigorous scrubbing with a coarse kessa glove to remove dead skin, followed by gasol clay masks and argan oil massages. Neighborhood hammams serve as equalizers where all social classes mingle, their vaulted ceilings echoing with gossip, business discussions, and matchmaking conversations. Women's sessions often include intricate henna applications, while men bond over black soap exfoliations. Though modern spas now offer private hammam experiences, traditional public baths remain cultural hubs where Moroccans of all ages maintain this centuries-old wellness tradition. Tiznit's silver souk dazzles with handcrafted jewelry preserving ancient Berber design codes that served as visual languages for tribal identity. Master artisans, called malems, still work in tiny storefronts using techniques unchanged since the 16th century. Lost wax casting, filigree wire work, and hammered engraving to create symbolic motifs. Each piece tells a story. The fibula brooch triangular shape represents womanhood, while the Hand of Fatima pendant wards off evil. The silver itself comes from local mines where Berbers historically paid taxes to sultans in bullion form. Visitors can watch craftsmen transform raw silver into intricate necklaces, daggers, and elaborate bridal headdresses, their workshops filled with the rhythmic tapping of tiny hammers, shaping metal into wearable art. Afoud's meteorite trade turns celestial wanderers into earthly treasures, capitalizing on the Sahara's perfect conditions for preserving space rocks. Desert nomads and specialized hunters scour the dunes after rare rainfalls, when meteorites become visible against darkened sand, sometimes finding specimens dating back 4.5 billion years to the solar system's formation. Local lapidaries cut and polish these extraterrestrial stones to reveal their crystalline structures, the iron-nickel Widmanstätten patterns of octahedrites, or the glassy fusion crust of achondrites. While scientists value them for research, most become jewelry or decorative items, with the famous black desert glass often set in silver pendants. Strict laws govern collection, but licensed dealers in Erhout's Space Rock Souk offer authenticated specimens alongside fascinating stories of their cosmic journeys. The Dra Valley's Kasbah corridor stretches like a string of earthen castles along Morocco's longest river, their Pise walls blending seamlessly into the desert palette. These fortified mansions, with their distinctive crenellated towers, housed powerful Qaids, local governors, who controlled caravan routes in the 18th, 19th centuries. Today, many have been restored as luxury guesthouses, where visitors sleep under palm-wood ceilings in rooms once reserved for royal guests. The most impressive, Kasbah Tamnugalt, retains its original defensive maze of narrow passages and hidden doors, while newer conversions like Kasbah Azul blend traditional architecture with modern design. At sunset, when the clay walls glow fiery orange against the date palm oases, these structures seem to rise organically from the landscape, as they have for centuries. Fez El Bali's medieval maze defies modern navigation, its 9,400 alleys twisting unpredictably through the world's largest car-free urban zone. Without street names or logical layouts, locals rely on subtle landmarks, a distinctive door knocker, a particular tile pattern, or the smell of a specific bakery to orient themselves. Newcomers inevitably get lost among the donkey traffic and sudden dead ends, only to stumble upon hidden gems like the 14th century Atrini Medesa or a family-run pottery workshop. The system originated as a defensive measure against invaders and continues to protect traditional ways of life, forcing even delivery scooters to move at human pace. Professional guides, called fes guides, still train for years to master the labyrinth's secrets, their knowledge passed down orally like living GPS systems. Casablanca's Hassan II Mosque is an engineering marvel where traditional Islamic architecture meets modern technology. Built partially over the Atlantic on a reclaimed platform, its 210-metre minaret, the world's tallest, contains a laser beam pointing toward Mecca. The 25-ton retractable roof opens in minutes to allow prayers under the stars, while the glass floor in the lower hall offers views of crashing waves beneath worshippers' feet. Over 6,000 master craftsmen spent 6 years hand-carving the cedar ceilings, sculpting the marble columns and laying the intricate zeli mosaics covering every surface. Non-mosque visitors can tour this masterpiece during non-prayer times, witnessing both its grandeur and the precision of its tidal pool cooling system that regulates the mosque's temperature using ocean water. Moroccan weddings unfold as multi-day extravaganzas, blending Berber, Arab and Andalusian traditions into a vibrant celebration of community. The festivities begin with the Hammam Day, where bride and groom undergo ceremonial cleansings, followed by the Henna Night, featuring intricate hand paintings and ululating women's choruses. On the main day, the bride makes her grand entrance, carried on an amaria, ornate silver chair, wearing up to 7 different kaftans, each change symbolizing a new blessing. Traditional musicians play the oboe like gaita, while guests shower the couple with milk and dates. In the south, the celebration might include a Fantasia cavalry performance, while northern weddings feature Andalusian orchestras. These lavish events often host 500-plus guests, with families saving for years to fulfill social obligations through what locals call the wedding industry. The thermal springs of Sidi Harazem have drawn seekers of healing since Roman legionnaires soaked in their mineral-rich waters to ease battle wounds. Located just outside Fez, this oasis of calm features a distinctive 1,960 Seneca spa complex, designed by architect Jean-François Zavarco. Its geometric concrete structures blending modernist lines with traditional Moroccan elements. The radioactive waters, 33 DEGC/91 DFF, contain high concentrations of magnesium and calcium, particularly beneficial for rheumatism and skin conditions. Local visitors follow a time-honored routine, drinking cups of the iron-tasting water at the source before soaking in the communal pools, where the social atmosphere often feels as therapeutic as the waters themselves. Though less glamorous than luxury hammams, Sidi Harazem remains beloved for its authentic, egalitarian approach to hydrotherapy. Each February, the anti-Atlas valleys around Tafrouta undergo a magical transformation as thousands of almond trees burst into delicate pink and white blossoms. This floral spectacle carpets the rugged mountain terrain in pastel hues, creating a striking contrast against the region's signature granite boulders and blue skies. Local Amazi families celebrate the annual bloom with the Almond Festival, offering visitors homemade almond milk, honey-drenched pastries, and the chance to participate in traditional pollination rituals. The sweet fragrance permeates the air as farmers prepare for the coming harvest, when the same flowers will yield the prized Tafraute almonds, smaller but more intensely flavored than their California counterparts. Hiking trails wind through the blossoming orchards, passing Berber villages where children sell freshly picked almond branches to passing motorists. Le Jardin Secret in Marrakech offers an oasis of tranquility hidden behind unassuming Medina walls, a masterpiece of Islamic garden design recently restored to its 19th century splendor. This palatial retreat features 2 distinct garden worlds, the exotic garden brimming with cacti and succulents from 5 continents, and the traditional Islamic garden, with its geometric water channels, and fragrant orange trees. The centerpiece is a 100-foot-tall historic pavilion offering panoramic views over the Medina's rooftops to the Atlas Mountains. What makes this garden truly unique is its working irrigation system, a restored Qattara underground canal that has watered the site since the Saadian dynasty. Visitors can explore the museum-quality exhibits on Moroccan garden history before relaxing in the shade of ancient palms, listening to the soothing sounds of water flowing through bronze fountains. The whitewashed Medina of Asilah undergoes a colourful metamorphosis each summer during its renowned street art festival, when international muralists transform the town into an open-air gallery. Since its inception in 1978, this cultural event has attracted graffiti artists, calligraphers and painters who reinterpret Moroccan motifs in contemporary styles across the seaside town's walls. The artworks remain until the next year's festival, creating an ever-changing urban tapestry where children play soccer beneath massive geometric designs and fishing boats float in harbours framed by surrealist seascapes. Local homeowners often commission permanent pieces, leading to unexpected discoveries like a corner storefront adorned with intricate arabesques or a hidden alley exploding with political street art. The festival's democratic spirit means a housewife's wall receives the same artistic attention as the historic ramparts, making every stroll through Asilah a visual adventure. Zaghoura's iconic 52 Days by Camel sign has become a beloved roadside attraction and symbolic gateway to the Sahara, despite its historical inaccuracy. The weathered wooden placard erected during the French colonial period points toward Timbuktu with the famous inscription referencing ancient caravan times. In reality, skilled desert traders could make the journey in about 20 days, but the romantic notion of a 2-month camel trek captures imagination. Modern visitors pose beneath the sign before embarking on shorter desert excursions, while the surrounding date palm oasis supplies provisions just as it did for centuries of Transurcan travelers. The nearby Library of the Desert preserves manuscripts from those trading days when Zaghoura was a crucial stop on caravan routes bearing gold, salt, and knowledge between North and West Africa. Moroccan Berber rugs are far more than floor coverings. They're woven narratives containing symbols and codes passed down through generations of Amazigh women. Each region has distinctive styles. The bold red Benio Rhine rugs with their diamond eye motifs for protection, the blue and white Boucheroute rag rugs repurposing fabric scraps into abstract art, or the intricate Azilal pieces resembling modernist paintings. Natural dyes create the vibrant colours, pomegranate for red, indigo for blue, saffron for yellow, while patterns tell stories of fertility, tribal identity or spiritual beliefs. In mountain villages, women still gather in weaving cooperatives to practice this ancient art, their looms set up beneath almond trees as they transform raw wool into functional masterpieces, using techniques unchanged for millennia. The pottery of Tamegrute is instantly recognizable by its distinctive glossy green glaze, a centuries-old technique perfected by this desert village's master potters. Using local clay mixed with manganese, artisans create everything from tagine cookware to ornate tea sets, all fired in wood-burning kilns that give the pieces their signature olive hue, and the glaze contains secret ingredients, including silica from crushed date palm ashes, creating a glass-like finish that makes the pottery both beautiful and functional for cooking. Visitors can watch the entire process in family workshops, where children learn by shaping simple cups before advancing to complex designs. The pottery's thermal properties are ideally suited for slow-cooked Berber dishes, and no Moroccan kitchen is complete without at least one Tamegrute tagine, its glaze darkening over years of use into a prized patina. Oujazrai music pulses with the raw energy of Morocco's eastern frontier, where Algerian and Bedouin influences blend into a uniquely rebellious sound. Born in the working-class bars near the Algerian border, Rai, meaning opinion, gave voice to social struggles through metaphor-laden lyrics once banned by authorities. The genre's modern form emerged in the 1970s when artists like Belimou Messaoud electrified traditional Bedouin wedding music with synthesizers and drum machines. Today, Oujda's cafes still vibrate with Rai's characteristic wailing vocals and syncopated rhythms, while the annual Rai festival draws thousands to celebrate this music of the people. The best Rai still walks a provocative line, mixing traditional gaspa flute with lyrics about love and liberation that resonate deeply with Morocco's youth. The Tarfa Tangier wind corridor creates some of the most consistent winds on Earth, turning the Strait of Gibraltar into a mecca for wind sports. The powerful Levante wind accelerates through this narrow passage, reaching speeds that make Tarfa's beaches a blur of colourful kite sails and Tangier's bay a playground for windsurfers. Local operators have perfected wind chasing, moving equipment to wherever the conditions are ideal each day. The same winds that once challenged Phoenician sailors now support a thriving industry of surf schools and adrenaline tourism. When the Levante blows at full force, the sea takes on an eerie, flattened appearance, while clouds form perfect parallel lines overhead. A phenomenon so reliable that ancient sailors used it for navigation, and modern weather models study it as a textbook example of wind tunnel effects. Meknes's Heri Essuani granaries represent an engineering marvel of the 18th century. Their massive vaulted chambers designed to feed Sultan Moulay Ismail's 12,000 horses. The complex could store enough grain to withstand a 20-year siege, with walls up to 4 meters thick, maintaining a constant cool temperature. Ingenious ventilation shafts and underground water channels created natural refrigeration, while a system of pulleys and chutes moved supplies efficiently. Nearby, the equally impressive Sahej Swani Basin served as both water reservoir and training pool for the Sultan's elite cavalry units. Though partially destroyed by an earthquake, the remaining structures still inspire awe with their scale and precision, a testament to the ambition of a ruler who sought to make Meknes the Versailles of Morocco. Perched dramatically above the Todra Gorge, Tingir's Jewish cemetery tells a forgotten chapter of Morocco's multicultural history through its weathered Hebrew inscriptions. The whitewashed tombs cling to the hillside in terraced rows, their carved symbols and bilingual epitaphs reflecting centuries of Jewish-Berber coexistence. Nearby abandoned Mela Jewish quarter buildings still show mezuzah marks on doorposts and remnants of synagogues. At its peak in the 1950 Satinkis, Jewish community numbered over 1,000, their silver workshops and dates trade integral to the local economy. Today, pilgrims occasionally visit the graves of revered rabbis, tying cloth strips to the iron grills in a custom blending Jewish and Berber traditions. The cemetery's silent stones overlook the same breathtaking gorge views that once inspired both Jewish poets and Amazi storytellers, their narratives now woven into the region's complex tapestry.